Two management sims dropped this month and I couldn't resist diving into both to help you decide which one's going to be worth your time. If you're anything like me and can't resist a good management game, stick around because Magical Bakery and Critter Café might be the next cozy games to add to your wish list. In this video, I'm going to be comparing their features, some gameplay mechanics, and just the overall vibes to help you decide which one is going to be best for you. Please keep in mind that these are my thoughts and it's totally okay if you think differently about these games. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at what each game is about. Magical Bakery, released on November 7th, was developed by Superlumen. This is a charming cooking management game where you step into the shoes of a trainee at the Academy of Magical Bakers. Your main objective is to create delicious and enchanting treats that not only satisfy your customer's sweet tooth, but also solve their personal problems or brighten their day. As you progress, you aim to prove your worth and eventually inherit the bakery from its current owner, who is an old witch. Some of the key features in this game is the cozy management gameplay where you get to run your own magical bake shop, managing everything from the baking to the customer service. You have to bake a variety of sweets and pastries that are infused with magic to help your customers with their problems. And along the way, you'll unlock new ingredients and upgrade your bakery with the help of a few NPCs like the merchant and the blacksmith. Each week, you are going to prove your skills by passing a weekly exam at the Academy of Magical Bakers to unlock new recipes and to progress in the game. You'll use elementals to enchant your sweets, each with unique abilities to address specific customer issues such as heartbreak. The magical mechanics were super creative and the passing the exams kind of felt really satisfying once you passed them. I also loved the elementals that added a bit of personality into the game. Now the early game does feel a bit slow and the customization is a bit lacking. Don't expect to be spending hours designing your perfect magical baker. Now moving on, we have Critter Café, which released on November 26th and was developed by Sumo Digital. This is a cozy, relaxing management game where you create and run your own cafe on Gold Leaf Isle. The game combines elements of cafe management with the joy of rescuing and caring for adorable critters. Your main objective is to build a welcoming space for townsfolk and critters alike, while serving delicious coffee, cakes, and lattes while you're hosting fun critter-themed parties. This game is heavy in the building and customizing your cafe. You get to create a warm and inviting atmosphere for both of the customers and your critters. It has some mini games when you're creating the latte art, doing the cake, serving coffee, and you can also host special events like movie nights and birthday parties. When it comes to the critters, you have to rescue them, and once you do, you get to feed, brush them, clean them, and play with them to help develop the bonds and unlock new traits and looks for them. But to gather these creatures, you have to go through portals which you do different puzzles and collect blueprints to help rescue the critters and enhance your cafe altogether. This game is really heavy in customizing your character, your cafe, your critter habitat, and it has tons of options. You really have to plan your days in this game to maximize efficiency and just overall enjoyment in the game. This game hits peak cozy for me. The critters are absolutely adorable. The puzzles are just challenging enough to keep things interesting, but not overly complicated. And there is so much customization. If you really love designing spaces, this game has got you covered. It is a bit grindy at times, especially when you're saving up for those upgrades. While the gameplay loop is relaxing, it can really feel repetitive if you binge it a little bit too hard. I really enjoyed playing this one in small doses at a time. Both games offer really unique mechanics, but let's compare the gameplay to help you decide which one is going to be more your vibe. Now first, we're going to start off with the art style and the music. Both nail the cozy aesthetic, but they also have their own little flair to them. Magical Bakery feels like stepping into a whimsical storybook, and the art is really vibrant and enchanting, and the music just matches the overall magical vibes going on. And with Critter Café, it really leans into that warmth, softer, and just a more homier, cozy feeling palette. Now, moving on to the game mechanics themselves, Both of these have their grindy moments, but at the end of the day, they both are management games, so it just depends on whether you want something that has a little bit more structure or you just want to relax. For Magical Bakery, the focus is on baking and managing a magical bakery. You have to balance creating magical treats, managing resources, and upgrading your shop. The exams add a nice layer of challenge and progression into the game, and you can also unlock upgrades like new spells to help you run your bakery. Now with Critter Café, it combines cafe management with little critter care. You get to serve customers, host events, and rescue critters. The game emphasizes nurturing and customization with a really heavy focus on the decorating part. And you can also unlock new abilities to help you collect new creatures. Something really important in any cozy game is just how easy it is for you to use it. Both have a book-like menu in which you can flip through, which I thought these both were very cute. In Magical Bakery, the tutorials were really helpful, but were a bit confusing in the beginning. Eventually, you get used to things and just go with the flow of how the shop works. Now with Critter Cafe, the tutorials are straightforward and the mini games were really easy to catch on to. The customization options are easily accessible and the daily activities are straightforward to manage, and it gives you the flexibility to choose what you want to focus on each day. Let's go over a few of the pros and the cons of the games now. For Magical Bakery, some pros were it has some really unique magical baking mechanics. You can engage an upgrading system which adds a nice little gameplay loop. It has some really cute elementals that add an extra little bit of spice to the game, and I really loved the pressure of having to pass the exams each week. Some cons, I feel like there was very limited customization options, especially with the characters and the treats. Now I did have a few minor bugs with this. With seating arrangements, sometimes customers would literally just sit at the same table like they're sitting in each other's lap, and there is a really tedious cleaning mechanic which it just, I don't know, I didn't like the cleaning mechanic, and this game overall can just get a bit repetitive. Now let's go over the pros and cons for Critter Cafe. It has some really adorable creatures. The caring for them really reminded me back in the day when I used to play Nintendogs on my DS, and it had a lot of fun puzzles and mini games that added a nice little mental challenge for me, so it wasn't just purely relaxing and decorating. It had tons of customization for your character and their environments as well, and this game just overall was really relaxing and stress-free for me. Some cons were it's a bit grindy to upgrade things and it has a repetitive game loop. I think that's just how management games are. Now, when it comes to the replayability, Magical Bakery has a moderate replayability due to the progression system and the variety of magical sweets to create. It's great for completing goals, but the grind may not keep you coming back long term. For Critter Cafe, I feel like this game might have a high replayability thanks to the plenty of customization options and just being able to decorate however you like. There was some type of satisfaction when you were discovering and just caring for the creatures overall. The gameplay is really relaxing and it makes it a great game to return to for just unwinding. Both games also run beautifully on the Steam Deck, so handheld gamers, I think you are all set with this one. So both games offer some unique and enjoyable experiences with their own strengths, but when it really comes down to what you're looking for in a management game, Magical Bakery offers more structured and challenge where it focuses on the magical baking mechanics and the charming art style, while Critter Cafe shines with its adorable critters and the stress-free experience with a focus on customization and the critter care. Personally, I really thought I was gonna like Magical Bakery more, but there's just something about Critter Cafe. Maybe it came down to the relaxing vibes and the adorable critters, but both of them really have their own unique charm. Now that is it for the comparison. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and let us know your thoughts on Magical Bakery and Critter Cafe in the comments down below. Which game are you excited to try? So until next time, happy gaming.